Hey, seniors, how you doing today? Today is Friday, the 18th of November. Let's take a look at what we got going on today. So our essential question today is can a text from the medieval periods, 1300s, 1400s, still apply today? Um, this is one of the questions that I think that you guys really keep coming back to is why are we reading this? Why are we reading this? Why are we reading this? This happened 700 years ago. Okay. Yes, it did. But are there parallels to today? Are there lessons that can be learned from today? And the reason we keep coming back to Canterbury Tales is because there's a lot of lessons in the satire and the political commentary and the social commentary that still are applicable today, partially by the way it was delivered, but partially the messages themselves. So that's our essential question. How are these things still applicable today? Our goals will be to compare and contrast themes and main ideas across multiple texts. What we've been talking about all week is chivalry. We've looked at examples of chivalry in different settings, different situations. We've asked you what it is. We've looked at different people who say it is and isn't still alive. And then we read a story that was about chivalry. Now we want to pull all those pieces together. So identifying that evidence, we want to state a claim and use that evidence to back it up, right? And we want to be able to compare this idea of chivalry over multiple different texts. All these different authors have taken a different look at chivalry. What did they see? How did they see it? How did they display it? And how did you take it? So that's what we're going to be doing in our daily learning check, November 11, 18, 22. So let's take a look at what we've got here. And again, we are comparing themes and main ideas across text. So we want to see how one idea was investigated or explored in multiple texts in multiple different ways. So we're going to start with this. Over the past few days, you've explored what chivalry means, and then you saw the story of chivalry in The Knight's Tale. Is this story a good example of chivalry? And does that example still stand today? Right now, again, it doesn't have to be yes or no. There's no right answer, no wrong answer, as long as you can back it up. Some people will say, yes, I still see it today and it makes sense and it still fits. Some of you will be like, no, not really, because, right? And that's fine. Either one is fine, but you're going to have to be able to back up your text, back up your answer. So here's the pre-writing breakdown that we generally give you. This is to help you get yourself organized. This is not part of the assignment. This is not a graded piece, so this is on your own. You are not required to do this, but if you do it, it will really help you out and get you organized. The more complete you are in the pre-writing, the easier it is for you to pull all those pieces together in the end, right? Please, if do not stop with just the pre-writing, because the final answer, which is down here, this is what will be graded. So don't just stop by doing the pre-writing. You do have to put all the pieces together. So starting off with a brief summary of what is The Knight's Tale. So retell that in 1 or 2 sentences. And again, we've talked about that already. We've done that summary in class. So, that should be pretty quick and easy. Your position, the P, what is your take? Do you think it is a good example? And do you think it's still valid today? Now, those do not need to be the same. It can be, yes, it's a good example, but no, it's not applicable today. It could be, yes, it is, and yes, it is. It could be no and no. It doesn't matter what it is, right? You can take your own answer as long as you can back that up. We need you to pull proof from the text. Now, you can use The Knight's Tale and you can use any other readings that we did, okay? So you can find all of those texts. You can pull any of those examples you want. You need to pull at least 2, okay? And what that means is you got to get at least something from The Knight's Tale and at least something from the other texts that we've looked at. That way you have the comparison. If you just deal with one, you don't really have a comparison, right? You're only talking about one. So you've got to use multiple examples. Make sure you've got it from The Knight's Tale and from somewhere else. The analysis, this is the hardest part. And we've said this before, and we want to remind you, this is really the bread and butter. This part here, the analysis, this is the part that really shows us you get it, okay? This is where you say, I got this example, and this is why I think it really backs me up, okay? For instance, I talk about, the cheese dip example, and I say, Los Bravos has the best cheese dip because it's creamy. Okay. Why is that important? Well, creamy cheese dip sticks to the chips. And therefore, when you dunk your chip, it doesn't break your chip, but the cheese sticks to it. That's the analysis. I took that example and then I proved my point with that example. So you want to be able to draw that line between them. And then the last piece is, how can you make this real for the audience? How can you show them what this looks like, what this means, what it means to you, how you practice it, what you see? This is really a lot of like what you see today, right? Again, your final answer needs to be written down here in this part. This is the part that's graded, okay? This is the part that's graded. We also have this explanation chart, this color-coded chart to help you break down the Spiel model. I know that last time several of you like color coded your answer, and you said, like the red part was this and the green part was this and whatever. And that is perfectly fine, acceptable. If that helps you make sure that you have all the parts, that is wonderful and awesome. We do not expect or need to see that, but if you do it, awesome. And it won't count for or against you. But you need to do what you need to do. As you are writing this, please make sure that if you have questions, if you get stuck, if you want to make sure you're doing the right thing, please make sure reaching out to McGuire. Say, hey, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Is this going the right way? Make sure that you are asking those questions so that we can give you the feedback you need to be the most successful. This is the last learning check that you will do before Thanksgiving. And then when we come back from Thanksgiving, we will only have 10 days left before finals. So it's really super important to make sure that we're staying focused and driven and moving forward. If you guys have any questions, please make sure you're asking. And otherwise, good luck, everybody.